فاعلم أنه لا إله إلا الله واستغفر لذنبك وللمؤمنين والمؤمنات والله يعلم متقلبكم ومثواكم.
أن أمته ستفترق على 73 فرقة كلها في النار إلا واحدة، وهي من كان على مثل ما عليه النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم وأصحابه. ولا يهولنك كثرة الجمع، فالحق هو الحق وإن لم يأخذ به إلا واحد.
Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the ever merciful. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. All praise is due to Allah, the Lord, creator and sustainer of all things. وَالصَّلَاةُ وَالسَّلَامُ عَلَىٰ أَشْرَفِ أَنْبِيَاءِ اللَّهِ. And may Allah raise the rank of and grant peace to the most noble of all prophets of Allah, Nabiyyina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. And likewise, that of his family and companions, all of them in entirety. Amma ba'adu. As for what follows, then we have in our previous sessions of this course our study of the book al-Usool, al-Thalaathah, the three fundamental principles of Shaykh al-Islaam, Muhammad ibn Abdil-Wahhaab, rahimahullah, authored by the great scholar Muhammad ibn Abdil-Wahhaab. May Allah have mercy on him. We've covered the first 70 pages of the book with its explanation of the great scholar al-Allama Muhammad ibn Saalih al-Uthaymeen, rahimahullah. May Allah have mercy on him. We arrive in our 19th session here at al-Masjid al-Awwal in the city of Pittsburgh with our brothers online through the At-Tarbiyah initiative of South Florida and the masjids connected to those efforts, like Masjid Quba in Orlando and the Islamic Center of West Palm Beach. May Allah Ta'ala preserve all of our striving brothers and sisters in Florida and beyond. We begin at this time on the top of page 71 of the widely spread printed explanation of Shaykh ibn Uthaymeen for al-Usool, al-Thalaathah. And we begin reading at the top of that page the text of the words of Shaykh al-Islam Muhammad ibn Abdil-Wahhaab, and they are as follows. وَمَعْنَاهَا. And the meaning of it, meaning the testimony of Laa-ilaaha-ill-Allaah, its meaning is لَا مَعْبُودَ بِحَقٍّ إِلَّا اللَّهُ. That there is no object of worship by right, illallah, except for Allah. لَا إِلَهَ نَافِيًا جَمِيعَ مَا يُعْبَدُ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ. The phrase لَا إِلَهَ, the first half of the shahada, negates every single thing that is worshipped beside Allah. Illallah, the exception, except for Allah, مُثْبِتًا الْعِبَادَةَ لِلَّهِ وَحْدَهُ لَا شَرِيكَ لَهُ فِي عِبَادَتِهِ. That establishes that worship is for Allah alone, not having any partner in that right to be worshipped. كَمَا أَنَّهُ لَا شَرِيكَ لَهُ فِي مُلْكِهِ. Just as he has no associate or partner in his mulk, in his sovereign dominion, in his ownership, in his creation and providing for all of the creation. Shaykh Muhammad ibn Saalih al-Uthaymeen, rahimahullah ta'ala, says, in explanation of this text, قَوْلُهُ وَمَعْنَاهَا, his statement and its meaning, أَيْ مَعْنَا لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. Meaning, the meaning of La ilaha illallah, our testimony of faith, there is none worthy of worship other than Allah. If we stick to just the words, La ilaha, there's no object of worship, illallah, except for Allah. There's no object of worship. We'll leave it ambiguous like that, because the Shaykh is going to explain that it means something beyond just those words. And la ma'buda bihaqqin. He says the meaning of that is there is no object of worship by right, meaning that is rightfully worshipped. Illallah, except for Allah. فَشَهَادَةُ أَنْ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. So the testimony that none deserve worship other than Allah, أن يعترف الإنسان بلسانه وقلبه, is that a man acknowledge upon his tongue and within his heart بأنه لا معبود حق إلا الله عز وجل. There is no object of worship that is worshipped by right other than Allah, the Mighty and Majestic. لأنه إله بمعنى مألوه. Because the word ilah, deity or object of worship, is the maf'ul. It is a noun that carries the meaning of something that has an action done to it. Ma'luh, maf'ul, from aliha. In Arabic, the word maf'ul refers to the thing that receives the action. So when you say daraba, Zaydun, Amran, Zayd struck Amr. Zayd is the darib. Zayd is the one striking, and Amr is the maf'ul. We call that in English the direct object. وَتَأَلُّهُ أَتَعَبُّدُ. And ta'alluh, this word linguistically, ta'alluh, to treat someone as an ilah, is ta'abbud. It is to treat someone as your ma'bud, as your object of worship. These are just synonyms in the Arabic language. Ta'alluh is a synonym of ta'abbud. وَجُمْلَةُ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. The phrase, there is none worthy of worship other than Allah, مُشْتَمِلَةٌ عَلَى نَفْيٍ وَإِثْبَاتٍ. It contains a negation and an affirmation. أَمَّا النَّفْيُ فَهُوَ لَا إِلَهَ. As for the negation, then it's a blanket negation of all deities, of all ilahs. There is no object of worship, meaning by right. وَأَمَّا الْإِثْبَاتُ فَهُوَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. And as for the thing being affirmed, then it is Allah and only Allah. وَاللَّهُ لَفْظُ الْجَلَالَةِ. Allah is the great name of Allah, the great name of the Lord and Creator. بَدَلٌ مِّن خَبَرِ لَا الْمَحْذُوفِ. Here we have some Arabic grammar points. Illallah, Allah comes as a badal. It comes as something that follows it in the sentence from the khabar of la. The khabar of la means when you say la ilaha, there's a mubtada here. There's no deity. Haqqan, in reality, we have to put a khabar. We have to put a predicate with our subject, if you wish to use English grammar terms. It's understood but not stated. That's the meaning of it being muqaddar, al-mahdhuf. It's not in the phrase, but it's understood from the phrase. وَالتَّقْدِيرُ لَا إِلَهَ حَقٌّ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. The meaning is there is no deity, there is no object of worship. حَقٌّ, in reality, deserving that worship by right, إِلَّا اللَّهِ, except for Allah. وَبِتَقْدِيرِنَا الْخَبَرَ بِهَذِهِ الْكَلِمَةِ حَقٌّ. And by us assigning this meaning to be understood but not stated in the passage, يَتَبَيَّنُ الْجَوَابُ عَنِ الْإِشْكَالِ التَّالِي. Then it becomes clear, the answer to a point of confusion that some people have, which will be mentioned now. وَهُوَ كَيْفَ يُقَالُ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. And people say this actually a lot in the West. How can it be said, La ilaha illallah? There is no ilah. There's no ilah. Let's leave it in Arabic. Ilah means object of worship. There is no ilah. There's nothing worshipped other than Allah. That's a surface understanding of the phrase La ilaha illallah. There is no ilah at all. There is no object of worship except Allah. How can you say that? مَعَ أَنَّ هُنَاكَ آلِهَةً تُعْبَدُ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ. While there are really objects of worship that people do indeed worship besides Allah. No one would claim there's no shirk on earth and that all ibadah is to Allah on earth, and there is no such thing as anyone worshipping or taking as an ilah anyone besides Allah. We all know there's shirk everywhere. We all know there are alihah, there are things being worshipped. Not by right, but they are being worshipped. Ibadah, worship is directed to a thing, that thing is ma'bud, that thing is an ilah. Not by right, but it is an ilah, it is an object of worship. How can we say La ilaha illallah? There's no ilah except Allah. while there are aliha everywhere. There are deities being worshipped all over the place. وَقَدْ سَمَّاهَا اللَّهُ تَعَالَى آلِهَةً. And Allah has named those objects of worship. Aliha, the plural of ilah. He's called them ilahs, deities. وَسَمَّاهَا عَابِدُوهَا آلِهَةً. And those who worship them call them aliha, ilahs, deities. قال الله تبارك وتعالى, Allah, the Blessed and Most High, has said, فَمَا أَغْنَتْ عَنْهُمْ آلِهَتُهُمْ الَّتِي يَدْعُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ مِن شَيْءٍ لَمَّا جَاءَ أَمْرُ رَبِّكَ. The deities, their aliha, their objects of worship. Allah called these false deities, He called them aliha. Allah has named them aliha. These false deities did not avail them at all. Those that they have been calling upon less than Allah, when the affair of Allah came. That's from Surah Hud, the 110th verse. Well, kayfa, this is the question being asked, right? How is it that we can actually call these things worship besides Allah, aliha, the plural of ilah, while we say as our testimony of faith, Laa-ilaaha-ill-Allaah, there is no ilah except Allah. وَكَيْفَ يُمْكِنُ أَن نُثْبِتَ الْأُلُوهِيَّةَ لِغَيْرِ اللَّهِ. How is it possible that we're going to affirm uluhiyya? Uluhiyya means something being an ilah, something being called ilah, an object of worship. How are we going to establish that لِغَيْرِ اللَّهِ, for anyone besides Allah Azza wa Jal, the mighty and majestic? وَالرُّسُلُ يَقُولُونَ لِأَقْوَامِهِمْ, while all of the messengers had said to their people, اُعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ مَا لَكُم مِّن إِلَهٍ غَيْرُهُ. Worship Allah alone, as you have no ilah other than Him. You have no object of worship other than Allah. That's from Surah Al-A'raf, the 59th verse. وَالْجَوَابُ عَلَى هَذَا الْإِشْكَالِ. And so the response to this point of confusion that some people have, يَتَبَيَّنُ بِتَقْدِيرِ الْخَبَرِ فِي لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. It comes when you understand the phrase with all of its words that are understood from the context, but not essentially stated. Laa-ilaaha-ill-Allaah, there is no deity worthy of worship, in existence or by right. Which one? By right. Aywa. فَنَقُولُ هَذِهِ الْآلِهَةِ. So we say, these deities, these aliha, they are truly called aliha, things worshipped. الَّتِي تُعْبَدُ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ. Those that are worshipped beside Allah, هِيَ aliha. They are really aliha. It's correct to call them ilahs. لَكِنَّهَا آلِهَةٌ بَاطِلَةٌ. However, they are deities, objects of worship, in vain, in falsehood. لَيْسَتْ آلِهَةٌ حَقًّا. They are not objects of worship by right. وَلَيْسَ لَهَا مِنْ حَقِّ الْأُلُوهِيَّةِ شَيْءٌ. And they have no right to that status as an ilah. They have no right to be worshipped. They are worshipped without right. وَيَدُلُّ لِذَلِكَ قَوْلُهُ تَعَالَى. And the statement of Allah the Most High proves this, when He said, ذَلِكَ بِأَنَّ اللَّهَ هُوَ الْحَقِّ. That is because Allah, He is the true reality, the haqq, the one worshipped by right. وَأَنَّ مَا يَدْعُونَ مِن دُونِهِ هُوَ الْبَاطِلِ. And all of those who are called upon beside Him, they are batil, they are falsehood. وَأَنَّ اللَّهَ هُوَ الْعَلِيُّ الْكَبِيرُ. And that verily Allah, He is the most high, the most lofty and the greatest. From Surah Al-Hajj, the 62nd verse. وَيَدُلُّ لِذَلِكَ أَيْضًا قَوْلُهُ تَعَالَى. And the statement of Allah also proves this same point. Another statement of Allah, another ayah, also proves this point, and that is from Surah Al-Najm. أَفَرَأَيْتُمُ اللَّاتَ وَالْعُزَّى. Have you seen, meaning do you contemplate about Al-Lat and Al-Uzza, two of the objects of worship of Quraysh. وَمَنَاةَ الثَّالِثَةَ الْأُخْرَى. And Manat, the other one, the third one. أَلَكُمُ الذَّكَرُ وَلَهُ الْأُنْثَى. Is it that you have males, meaning you have male children, وَلَهُ الْأُنْثَى, and in this presumption you assign to Allah female offspring, وَلِعَاذُ بِاللَّهِ سُبْحَانَهُ وَتَعَالَى. تِلْكَ إِذًا قِسْمَةٌ ضِيزَى. Such is a division or a distribution that is oppressive and unfair. إن هي إلا أسماء سميتموها أنتم وآباؤكم. These, meaning Manat, Lat, and Uzza, these names of these deities, they are not the daughters of Allah. They are but names that you and your fathers have named them, have invented and ascribed to things. مَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ بِهَا مِن سُلْطَانٍ. And Allah has sent down no authority for them. إِن يَتَّبِعُونَ إِلَّا الظَّنَّ وَمَا تَهْوَى الْأَنفُسُ. They only follow after conjecture and what their inner whims crave. وَلَقَدْ جَاءَهُم مِّن رَبِّهِمُ الْهُدَى. Whilst clear guidance has come to them from their Lord. That's from Surah An-Najm, the 19th through 23rd verses. And I refer you at this time to the classes available through the Mirath English radio station and website, reading from the explanation of Shaykh Muhammad ibn Saalih al-Uthaymeen of Surah An-Najm, completely, that tafsir, and these verses are from that tafsir. وقوله تعالى عن يوسف عليه الصلاة والسلام, and his statement as well. What else proves that there are objects of worship that really exist, but they are objects of worship in falsehood, without right? What else proves this, that they are aliha, that they are ilahs? The statement of Allah Ta'ala, مَا تَعْبُدُونَ مِن دُونِهِ إِلَّا أَسْمَاءً سَمَّيْتُمُوهَا أَنْتُمْ وَآبَاؤُكُمْ. You worship those less than Allah, nothing but names that you have given to things, you and your forefathers. مَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ بِهَا مِن سُلْطَانٍ. Allah has not sent down for that any authority. From Surah Yusuf, the 40th verse. And we've heard here the word sultan mentioned a few times in these verses. The word sultan literally means authority, but in these verses it means the authority of ilm. It means the authority of knowledge. Meaning Allah sent down no authority, no revelation, no information, no permission in the revelation He sent to His prophets for you to name these things with these names and interact with them the way you interact with them. إِذَنْ فَمَعْنَا Laa-ilaaha-ill-Allaah. Then as a result, the meaning of Laa-ilaaha-ill-Allaah is La ma'buda haqqun illallah azza wa jal. There is no object of worship in truth, by right, except for Allah the Mighty and Majestic. فَأَمَّا الْمَعْبُودَاتُ. As for objects of worship, siwahu, beside Him, فَإِنَّ أُلُوهِيَّتَهَا التي يزعمها عابدوها ليست حقيقية. As for the status of being an ilah, of being an object of worship, that the idol worshippers falsely assume that their objects of worship have and possess in reality, ليست حقيقية. It is not in reality the right to be called an ilah and to be an object of worship. أي ألوهية باطلة. It is, you could say, deityship, or the concept of being a deity in falsehood and not in truth. Now we look to the text on the top of page 72. And the author, rahimahullah ta'ala, stated, وَتَفْسِيرُهَا الَّذِي يُوَضِحُهَا. And the explanation of the testimony of faith that clarifies its meaning, قوله تعالى, is the statement of Allah the Most High, وَإِذْ قَالَ إِبْرَاهِيمُ لِأَبِيهِ وَقَوْمِهِ إِنَّنِي بَرَاءٌ مِّمَّا تَعْبُدُونَ. And when Ibrahim said to his father and to his people, surely, most certainly, I am absolutely free of what you worship. إِلَّا الَّذِي فَطَرَنِي. Except for the one that created me. فَإِنَّهُ سَيَهْدِينِ. That verily He is going to guide me. He guides me, and He is going to guide me. And then Allah said, وَجَعَلَهَا كَلِمَةً بَاقِيَةً فِي عَقِبِهِ. And He made it a statement that remained after Him, meaning He advised His children who are also prophets to remain upon this, and they advised their children and so on throughout His progeny. They remained upon this, لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْجِعُونَ, in order for them to have something to return back to. That is the worship of Allah Ta'ala alone. And we say the religion of Islam is the millah of who? Out of all prophets and messengers, and each and every one of them was on Tawheed, pure Tawheed, no flaw, no deficiency. But we refer to Islam as Millat Musa, or Millat Nuh, or Millat, we say Millat Ibrahim, right? Millat Ibrahim, it's the millah, it's the religion of Ibrahim. Right? While each and every prophet, that is not to slight any prophet, or to say that there was something deficient with the way Tawheed was established with any prophet or messenger. But specifically Ibrahim, we say this is his millah, this is the millah of Ibrahim, subhanallah. I ask you now, before we read the explanation, what if someone were to say, based on this verse, Ibrahim said, إِنَّنِي بَرَاءٌ مِمَّا تَعْبُدُونَ, I am free of what you worship. What if they say, see here, this is balanced, this is good. He declared himself free of what they worshipped. He didn't say he was free of them. He said here, he's free of what they worship. You people, you teach your followers to hate people, and that's not allowed in Islam. You can't hate people. We're not haters of people. We hate disobedience, hypocrisy, disbelief. We hate those concepts and those actions, but we don't hate the people. We're compassionate and we're sympathetic and we're concerned, but we don't hate the people. They say here, look at the verse. He said, إِنَّنِي بَرَاءٌ مِمَّا تَعْبُدُونَ, I am free of what you worship. He didn't say minkum. What do you say, Ya Aba Maryam? Look at the other text. Don't single out a verse and draw these conclusions from it. Do you remember the verse that we talked about in our Q&A just before the class? The verse from Surah Al-Mumtahina. There is no one who has an excuse when it comes to this verse to say we don't hate people. Verily we hate people, and whoever has a problem with that, they have a problem with the book of Allah Ta'ala. Allah said in Surah Al-Mumtahina, قَدْ كَانَتْ لَكُمْ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ, you have had a great example to follow. فِي إِبْرَاهِيمَ وَالَّذِينَ مَعَهُ, in Ibrahim and those with him, those who are supporters of him upon his religion in his time. إِذْ قَالُوا, at the time, specifically they were people to be taken as role models and followed in a general way. But here Allah mentioned them, Ibrahim specifically, with a statement that he made and a stance that he took as guidance for you all the way until the Day of Judgment. إِذْ, at the time, قَالُوا لِقَوْمِهِمْ, when they said to their people, إِنَّا بُرَآءُ مِنْكُمْ وَمِمَّا تَعْبُدُونَ مِنْ دُونِ اللَّهِ, we are free of you. They made bara'ah. They declared themselves free, disloyal, disassociated with, and they denounced them and the things they worshipped. Firstly the people, and then the things that were worshipped. إِنَّا بُرَآءُ مِنْكُمْ وَمِمَّا تَعْبُدُونَ مِنْ دُونِ اللَّهِ, we are free of you and the things that you worship. كَفَرْنَا بِكُمْ, we denounce you, we disbelieve in you. Now specifically addressed to the people, not the objects of worship. How many times is the object of worship innocent and free of blame? Isa ibn Maryam is worshipped. Any blame associated to him? Did he hint that he should be worshipped in any way whatsoever? Here's an object of worship that there is no blame at all associated with him. So then, when it comes to people worshipping other than Allah, look at how the object of worship can be innocent and free of blame. Where is the real evil? It's in the people and what they're doing, not the object of worship so much. So here, by right, Ibrahim says, and this is the millah of Ibrahim, and this is a Quranic verse as guidance for me and you, Uswatun Hasana, a great example and role model to follow. Kafarna bikum, we denounce you, we disbelieve in you. Wabada baynana wa baynakum, and there has arisen now, there has appeared between us and between you. وَبَدَى بَيْنَنَا وَبَيْنَكُمُ الْعَدَاوَةُ وَالْبَغْضَاءُ, animosity and hatred. Al-adawa, being an adu, having animosity. Baghda, hatred. Abadan, that goes on forever. That goes on forever. Not until we reach an agreement about our borders. That goes on forever. Except for hatta, until something happens. Hatta tu'minu billahi wahdahu. Until you believe in Allah alone. Look at the interfaith people. Look at all of the misguided people influenced by the Christians around them. So we love all of the people, even the non-Muslims. They're our brothers in humanity. We love them. We love the Sikhs. We love the idol worshippers. We only hate the idol worship. We only hate their objects of worship. How much will you hate a piece of wood? And you don't hate the one worshipping the piece of wood. You hate that piece of wood, really. Someone props up a piece of wood. How much do you really want to hate the piece of wood? What evil did the piece of wood do? Where's the evil that deserves to be hated? It's the people and their actions. Subhanallah. They'll say, this is hate preaching, right? This is hate preaching. We say it's the book of Allah. It's the guidance of the prophets that have been sent to us. Whenever you hold to the guidance of Allah, yes, there will be names directed at you. You will be preachers of hatred. You will be insane. You will be backwards. You will be people trying to live in an ancient religion in modern society. You will be any number of accusations. Be patient with the accusations. I love and I hate for the sake of Allah, and my love and my hatred for the sake of my Lord is my religious right here in America. No one can tell me, according to the American law, that I have no right to love and hate according to my religion. Now, if my hatred takes me into transgression, and I deny people their rights, their right of safety, and I have an agreement with the people around me that we have mutual respect and the honor of each other's property and rights. If I violate that, now my hatred has gone outside of its limit, and I'm a transgressor. I've gone beyond the limit. Now I have an agreement that's understood that we have peaceful coexistence here, and we don't have a war going on between us and non-Muslims. We don't have that. Right? At this time, there's an agreement of peaceful coexistence between the Muslims and the non-Muslims here in this land. There is no transgression allowed in this case. So they'll try to say, the people who are opponents to Tawheed, they'll say, this speech right here, when you say hating for the sake of Allah, this breeds violence, and this breeds transgressions, and this breeds acts of terror and things like that. This is what causes the people to blow themselves up as suicide missions and things like this. We say no. These are criminals who don't understand their religion. These are ignorant people who don't take the time to attend classes like this and understand things the way they have been revealed to be understood. Wallahu al-musta'an. Those matters are not permissible. Those acts of transgression and terrorism are not permissible, and that is not related to loving and hating. And every person, whether they engage in violent acts or not, they love and they hate. Even Christians who say we hate no one and we only love. Our hearts are only full of, they hate certain things. They just don't want to say it. Love and hatred is a natural emotion that exists in the heart of a human being. There is no way for a human being to not hate. We direct our love and hatred to what is pleasing to Allah Ta'ala because we are His worshippers. Instead of just loving and hating things based on however we wish to view them. Whatever is in accordance to our desires, we love it. Whatever is against what our desires wish for, we hate it, like an animal. He loves whatever makes him happy. He hates what makes him angry. We love what pleases Allah. We hate what displeases Allah. That's what it means to be a worshipper of Allah Ta'ala. And Allah knows best. So if someone said to us that Ibrahim said, "Innani bara'un mimma ta'budun," verily I'm free of what you worship, and this means he wasn't free of them, but he was only free of what they worship. We say this statement is one quote from what Ibrahim said. Gather the other ayat together and look at the whole picture, and Ibrahim did indeed, factually and accurately, say he is free of those people and what they worship. And Allah Ta'ala knows best. To look at the explanation here offered by Shaykh ibn Uthaymeen rahimahullah, he said, Ibrahim huwa Khalilullahi imamul hunafa. Ibrahim, he is the special ally of Allah, the imam of the righteous, pious worshippers of Allah alone. وأفضل الرسل بعد محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وأبوه آزر. And he was the most virtuous of all the messengers after Muhammad. May Allah raise his rank. and grant him peace, and his father was named Azar. The Prophet ﷺ said, as is found in the hadith of Sahih Muslim, Ana sayyidu waladi Adama wala fakhar. I am the chief, the leader, the master of the children of Adam, the descendants of Adam, wala fakhar. I don't say that out of braggery. This is one of the many evidences that Allah Ta'ala has favored and preferred him over even the very best of the prophets and messengers of old. And if someone were to say, well, this sounds like choosing and picking between the messengers and choosing favorites, we say the ranks that Allah Ta'ala has given them, we affirm them. تِلْكَ الرُّسُلُ فَضَّلْنَا بَعْضَهُمْ عَلَى بَعْضٍ. These are the messengers of whom we have favored some over others. As for the statement that we make, لَا نُفَرِّقُ بَيْنَ أَحَدٍ مِّنْهُمْ, we don't make any distinctions between any of the messengers, then that means from our own selves. I don't read the story of Nuh and then come and say, after reading the story of Nuh, I have realized that he is the best messenger out of all of the prophets. For sure, whoever reads the struggle of any prophet and his confrontations with the enemies of Allah's message, he will fall in love with that prophet and he will be devoutly attached to that prophet and messenger. But he may not then say, as a result of that, he is the best of all prophets and messengers. But rather, the ranks that Allah has given them, he must affirm them and he must not violate that. So we don't prefer any prophet over another based on our whims, but we establish every rank and position that Allah has given them from His revelation. And Allah Ta'ala knows best. Bara, I am free, sifatun mushabbaha min al-bara'a. It's an adjective that resembles a noun from al-bara'a, from someone being free of something. Bara'un is someone who is free of something in this use of the language. وَهِيَ أَبْلَغُ مِنْ بَرِيءٌ. And it's more expressive than just the word bari. Bari is the basic word used to say so-and-so is free of something. You call the man bari. He's free of someone. He's innocent of someone or something. وَقَوْلُهُ إِنَّنِي بَرَاءٌ مِمَّا تَعْبُدُونَ. Verily I am most certainly free of what you worship. يُوَافِي قَوْلَ Laa-ilaaha-ill-Allaah. This carries the meaning of, or is in agreement with the meaning of La-ilah, the negation, there is no object of worship. إِلَّا الَّذِي فَطَرَنِي, except for the one who created me. يُوَافِي قَوْلَهُ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. This matches up and represents the other second half of the testimony of faith, except Allah, other than Allah. فَهُوَ سُبْحَانَهُ وَتَعَالَى لَا شَرِيكَ لَهُ فِي عِبَادَتِهِ. It is Him, Allah, the glorified and most high. There is no partner for Him in His right to be worshipped. كَمَا أَنَّهُ لَا شَرِيكَ لَهُ فِي مُلْكِهِ. Just as there is no partner for Him in His dominion, in His ownership of all things. وَدَلِيلُ ذَلِكَ قَوْلُهُ تَعَالَى. And the evidence for that is the statement of Allah the Most High, أَلَا لَهُ الْخَلْقُ وَالْأَمْرُ. Nay, to Him belong the creation, meaning He creates, He is the only one who creates. وَالْأَمْرُ. And as well all of the affair or the orders, the legislation to order and forbid. تَبَارَكَ اللَّهُ رَبُّ الْعَالَمِينَ. Blessed be Allah, the Lord, creator and sustainer of all things. From Surah Al-A'raf, the 54th verse. فَفِي هَذِهِ الْآيَةِ حَصْرُ الْخَلْقِ وَالْأَمْرِ لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ وَحْدَهُ. In this verse there is a restriction of the attribute of creating things and al-amr, and the management of the affair, or the right and the authority to issue orders and prohibitions. All of that is to Allah, the Lord, creator and sustainer of the creation. وَحْدَهُ alone. فَلَهُ الْخَلْقُ وَلَهُ الْأَمْرُ الْكَوْنِيُّ وَالشَّرْعِيُّ. And to Him belongs, to Him alone belongs the creation and al-amr. Al-amr al-kawni, that He ordains certain matters to take place within the creation, and al-amr al-shar'i, that He ordains certain matters to be done and fulfilled by His servants. Sayahdini, Ibrahim said, and He is going to guide me. Allah is going to guide me. Sayadulluni ala al-haqqi wa yuwaffiquni lahu. He is going to lead me to the truth and He's going to grant me success in attaining it. وَجَعَلَهَا, and He made it, that testimony, أي هذه الكلمة وهي البراءة من كل معبود سوى الله. That is, His statement freeing himself of all things worshipped beside Allah. Fi aqibihi, he made that to be left for his progeny, for his offspring. Fi dhurriyatihi, for his progeny. لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْجِعُونَ, that they would have something to return to. أَيْ إِلَيْهَا مِنَ الشِّرْكِ, something to return back to, away from polytheism. وَقَوْلُهُ, and his statement, قُلْ يَا أَهْلَ الْكِتَابِ تَعَالَوْا إِلَى كَلِمَةٍ سَوَاءٍ بَيْنَنَا وَبَيْنَكُمْ. And the statement of Allah, say, O Muhammad, O people of the book, Jews and Christians, come together, come with us to a word that we can both equally agree to, that is equal between us, that we can both agree to, between us and you. And la na'buda illallah, that we do not worship other than Allah. Wa la nushrika bihi shay'a, and that we do not commit any act of shirk, no polytheism with him in any way whatsoever. Wa la yattakhidha ba'duna ba'dan arbaban min dunillahi, and that none of us shall take others as lords beside Allah. فَإِن تَوَلَّوْا, and if they turn away, فَقُولُوا إِشْهَدُوا بِأَنَّا مُسْلِمُونَ, then say to them, testify that we are submitters. We are Muslims, we are submitters to Allah. That's from Surah to Ali Imran, the 64th verse. Al-Khitabu lin-Nabi, the address here is to the Prophet. قُل, say, O Muhammad, لِمُنَاظَرَةِ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ, in order for him to engage the people of the book, al-Yahud wal-Nasara, the Jews and the Christians. Every person who says interfaith dialogue. Interfaith dialogue is our method, it's our dawah, it's part of the call to Islam. We say yes, but let your interfaith dialogue be what Allah Ta'ala has said, like in this verse. Take this one verse and begin your interfaith dialogue with this. Tell the Jews and the Christians to come together with you and to agree with you that none have the right to be worshipped except Allah, and that we do not commit shirk. We do not devote any act of worship to other than Allah ever. And when they come to that word, and they agree with you on that word, then begin your dialogue with them. As you have a foundation now to begin building something with Jews and Christians, to pave the way for them to come to Islam. As for agreeing with them that they're going to go on worshipping other than Allah, and then calling them your brothers in faith, then you have no idea what faith is apparently, because faith is now shirk. They're your brothers in faith and they worship other than Allah. They're not your brothers in faith. They're your brothers in shirk. Wallahu al-musta'an. Ta'alaw ila kalimatin sawa'in baynana wa baynakum. Come together, let us come together to a word that is equal between us and you. A word that we both agree to. هذه الكلمة هي أن لا نعبد إلا الله. This word is that we do not worship other than Allah. وَلَا نُشْرِكَ بِهِ شَيْئًا, and we don't worship anyone beside him. وَلَا يَتَّخِذَ بَعْضُنَا بَعْضًا أَرْبَابًا مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ, and that we do not take each other as lords beside Allah. فَلَا نَعْبُدَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ هِيَ مَعْنَى لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. So we do not worship other than Allah. That's the meaning of Laa-ilaaha-ill-Allah. That's Jewish, Christian, Muslim dialogue. That's interfaith dialogue right there. You ask the Jews and Christians to abandon all things worshipped beside their Lord and Creator. That's dialogue from the book of Allah Ta'ala. You invite them to Laa-ilaaha-ill-Allah, to worship none but Allah. وَمَعْنَا سَوَاءٍ بَيْنَنَا وَبَيْنَكُمْ, a word that is equal, that is common grounds between us and you. أَنَّنَا نَحْنُ وَإِيَّاكُمْ سَوَاءٌ فِيهَا, that we and you, we are all equally committed and established upon that word. And then أَيْ لَا يَتَّخِذُ بَعْضُنَا بَعْضًا أَرْبَابًا مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ عَزَّ وَجَلَّ, that we don't take each other as lords besides Allah, the mighty and majestic. بِحَيْثُ يُعَظَّمُ كَمَا يُعَظَّمُ اللَّهُ عَزَّ وَجَلَّ, as someone would be honored and exalted, how Allah alone should be honored and exalted, the mighty and majestic. وَيُعْبَدُ كَمَا يُعْبَدُ اللَّهُ, and that a person would be worshipped as Allah is to be worshipped alone. وَيُجْعَلُ الْحُكْمُ لِغَيْرِهِ, and that rulings and the right to legislate are given now to other than Allah. فَإِن تَوَلَّوْا, if they turn away, أَعْرَضُوا عَمَّا دَعَوْتُمُوهُمْ إِلَيْهِ, turning away from what you call them to. Interfaith activists, implement this. Allah told you what to do. Invite them to this. If they don't accept it, then do this. Very simple. Then what? Tell them to bear witness. فَإِن تَوَلَّوْا فَقُولُوا اشْهَدُوا بِأَنَّا مُسْلِمُونَ. If they turn away, then tell them, testify that we are Muslims, that we are people who submit to Allah Ta'ala. أَيْ فَأَعْلِنُوا لَهُمْ. Announce to them. وَأَشْهِدُوهُمْ. And make them witnesses. Take them as witnesses that you have come to them, invited them to worship Allah, they rejected you, then announce to them that you are the worshippers of Allah. وَأَشْهِدُوهُمْ أَنَّكُمْ مُسْلِمُونَ لِلَّهِ. Announce to them and make them witnesses that you are worshippers in submission to Allah. Bari'un. The printing says bar'iyun. It should be bari'una. Ya comes before the hamza. Bari'una mimma hum alayhi. That you are free. Announce to them, you're Muslims, you are bari'un. You are free of what they are upon, min al-inadi, of arrogant disdain or rejection. وَتَوَلِّي, and turning away, عَنْ هَذِهِ الْكَلِمَةِ الْعَظِيمَةِ, away from this great word, Laa-ilaaha-ill-Allaah. None deserves worship other than Allah. This is what Allah Ta'ala has made easy for us to study together today. May Allah Ta'ala forgive me and all of us. وَصَلِّ اللَّهُمَّ وَسَلِّمْ وَبَارِكْ عَلَى نَبِيِّنَا مُحَمَّدٍ وَعَلَى آلِهِ وَصَحْبِهِ أَجْمَعِينَ.